Hello, Kit fans. Welcome back to Talking Kit. We are running late, but it's going to be great. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, we are back with another Talking Kit, full kit rankers every Wednesday around 8 o'clock-ish. Normally it's 8 o'clock, but this week it's quarter past. Don't worry about it, like I say. And it's me, Double A, your host as always. There's one of us missing. That is James. He's off telling jokes this week. So it's me and Sean keeping the boat afloat. How we doing, Sean? You all right?
I'm all right. I'm having some internet issues, so if you lose me, I might come back or I might not.
I hope you do
Living in
come back.
Gloucester.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Come back. It seems like technical issues, the reason why we're late, but that's fine. No one's to blame. It's okay. Good week so far. You okay?
Yeah, cracking week. Yeah. Went to see Stockport last Saturday.
You did. Nice
win.
win.
5-0. 18. 5-0. 18 wins out of 19. Top of the league.
Confident you're coming up then, yeah?
Still nervous, but we're in a good position. Only takes a couple of slip-ups.
It is. But you say 18 wins out of 19. That's not bad, mate. That's not bad.
One of them being a draw as well.
Yeah. Nice shirt you've got on. Croatia away.
Christmas present from you, that. 2008, was it?
I know, that's why I said nice shirt. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered if it wasn't for me. But no, it's nice. Medium fits you well, that, mate.
I've got a couple of shirts underneath to fill it out a bit. I'm a small. Look.
You're not a small. You claim. I've seen you up close. You're not a small. Anyway, we'll move on quickly. So, yeah, like I say, no James this week. But if it is your first time talking kit, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, drop a comment as well on tonight's theme, any shirts you like or you don't like. But most importantly, please do subscribe to the channel. We are trying to steadily build as quickly as possible. Getting close to 200 subscribers now. And it's free, costs you nothing. Help us out. Why not drop a little subscribe while you're watching tonight's video? So, yeah, there's 5 of us tonight. We've replaced James with a sub. Some people might say he's better. Some people won't. I'm not going to say either or because I don't want to get in trouble. But joining us, as always, the 4th member of the team, the Talking Kit team, the Grand High Sultan of the kit world, the diva, if you will. Some say this week he's been spotted around Lincoln kissing pictures of the Pacific FC away shirt, showing and singing love songs to it because he likes it that much. It is, of course, Josh, a.k.a. the Kitsman. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, man, you all right? That was good. Good introduction. They're getting much more rounded and story. I like the stories you tell.
This is it. I'm mixing up. I'm not always giving it. You're a diva. I'm saying sometimes.
I know
you're a nice person as well, and that is the main thing. You are a nice person. So why would I not showcase that to the kit community?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
Is there a truth behind that story, Josh?
There isn't much truth behind it. I mean, I've kissed a shirt before. I won't lie. I mean, I think we all have. To be fair, there's nothing wrong in that. I mean, we're living in the 21st century. I think that it should be encouraged, if anything.
So the reason behind that, James, is Sean, is because obviously I follow Josh on social media, see a lot of his posts, and after the kit drop from Pacific FC this week, he expressed a much found love for it. Did you say you've fallen in love with shirts again, or even more?
I think you can. I don't think it was kind of possible to. You think you've seen it all, don't you? And then they drop something wild like that. And I think what's even better about it as well is that it's like not well known. Like if Venezia had dropped that, I mean, everyone and their mums would be talking about it, But the fact that sort of it's dropped on the Canadian Premier League, I mean, a lot of people don't know there's a Canadian Premier League, let alone a Pacific FC. So, good on them.
Exactly. And if you want to see more of the Canadian Premier League, obviously after tonight, go and click back to a couple of episodes ago. And we had a full episode about it, ranking the home shirts from their season, this season. But that away shirt is absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful, man. And I've recently just found out that you can watch Canadian Premier League on BT Sport now. So big up for CPL.
Big time. I seen Adam did put it in a tweet mentioning you, Sean, as well.
Yeah, loves a night out. I think we should get a night out sorted out with him.
Or wearing football shirts. I'm up for that. That sounds good to me.
I'll be rating his shirts though.
Oh yeah,
We'd have to have a few on him.
Yeah, I think he'll expect that.
Yeah, he would. But no, it's like I say, it is a great shirt, and it's great that you're with us again, Josh, as always.
No man, it's great.
Won't be the show without you. Do you know what I mean?
That's a lie.
We're just a vessel for your greatness. That's what we are. That's how I see it.
You give the show credibility, Josh. You've got the research going on.
Mate, I'll tell you what. In my day job,
we slack now.
In my day job, I make a living out of pretending I know what I'm talking about. I'm bringing that back here, mate, as well.
Rubbish, absolutely rubbish. Right, let's get our next two guests on as well. One is returning, and the second guest is brand new. Although they are a duo, you could call them the Batman and Robin of the kit community. I'll let them fight it out. Which one is which? It is Tom and Andy from the Shirt Union. Evening, fellas.
Evening. How we doing?
Who wants to be Batman? Who wants to be Robin? I'm just.
I'll go first, as I've been before, but that doesn't mean I'm Batman or Robin. But yeah, evening everyone. Yeah, in the Manchester United 15-16 away shirt, which was the last time we won the FA Cup, which is far too long ago, really, when you consider that what have Chelsea been in the final like four times in the last 5 years, something mad like that. I think they've only won it once, but at least they've been in it that many times. So yeah, donning that, and also long sleeves, because who doesn't love a long sleeve with the Adidas stripe going all the way down to the end?
Nice touch. We can't really see your shirt, Andy. Have you got one on?
I wasn't going to do a floating head joke, but so I think I've seen it pop up a couple of times. Is on this day was it when Fergie blamed the grey kit for being 3-0 down at Southampton and then changed into the blue and white striped kit, which I actually quite like. So I probably should have worn that instead. But yeah, thanks for having me on. Really nice to make my debut. It's not often you get to make debuts at the age of 33, but I'll take that.
Happy to hand out caps, mate. Don't worry about it. But I have to say that is one of my favourite United shirts of all time. I like it more that people don't like it, or it wasn't rated, or the story behind it. Yeah, I love it. Thank you for wearing it.
Have you got the other shirt to turn into at like halfway mark?
Man, yeah, give it away now.
Oh,
if you see the mic go off on the camera, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay then. So yeah, Tom's kind of give us a hint at what this week's theme is all about. So as it is the FA Cup semi-finals this weekend, I thought why not delve into the kits worn by semi-finalists over the years, but rather than going for winners, I've gone for losers, because losers need some love as well, as I'm sure you may be aware. So yeah, I've gone for losers. I've spoken briefly to the Shirt Union lads about the selection of kits. I'll be honest, I thought they were going to be a lot better. Some of them not too great. Sean, Josh, did you have trouble ranking these? How did you find them?
Yeah, I thought they were sort of not a worst, but it was just very much of a muchness. I couldn't really. There was no sort of like obvious. Oh, that's first. Oh, yeah, that's middle ground. That's last. And nah, that took a long time. Hence, you're saying, Josh, you sending them over anytime soon, lad? Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'll be honest. You weren't the only person. I think I said it to all of you this morning, just to G's up. But it happens every week, so I'm used to it. Don't worry, it's fine.
No, it does. I'm terrible for it, mate. But no, I just think that it was one of those weeks where this particular set of shirts you've given and you will see coming up weren't very easy to pick. No,
Sean, did you feel the same?
The top 5 were easy, and then the bottom 5 were like, there. I'm like,
yeah. But at least there'll be stuff to be said. If you don't like them, then that's just as good as if you love them. In this game, that's what it's all about. So yeah, let's get into it then. We'll get the first shirt up, and we can get into the rankings. So yeah, it is losing FA Cup semi-finalist for the last 10 years. I've picked one semi-finalist for the sort of last 10 years. So from 2012 up to 2021. And yeah, we will start with number 10 on our list. I need to go and I didn't have time to do my research, but I believe this could be the lowest scoring shirt that we have ever had on Full Kit Rankers to date, with a measly 9 points overall. It is this shirt. It is the Liverpool away shirt from 2015, which they wore in the FA Cup semi-final. That I will get it up for. They lost to Aston Villa 2-1, I believe. So, yeah, not a great shirt, it seems, or not ranked great from all of us. Myself, it was last on my list. Not a fan. Warrior for me. Didn't do great shirts that I saw. James had it 9th. I know for a fact he would say Warrior as well. I know he's not a fan of Warrior. No one had it higher than 9th on our list. We will start with Sean on this one. You had it 10th as well, mate. Give us your reasons.
Yeah, it's a red and yellow, but they look like poor shades of red and yellow as well. And Warrior, I didn't even realize this kit existed. And Standard Chartered, not a great sponsor, I don't think, for Liverpool. Doesn't work as well as Carlsberg or Reebok. And I just don't get what the lines are. If it was a yellow shirt on its own, it may have got higher. It's like someone just put them in just to use up the red ink.
Yeah. It looks like ketchup squiggles on mustard to me. But yeah,
it was like an abstract McDonald's logo, doesn't it? A little bit. That's what I'm getting.
True. That's true. Night out rating from you?
0. Never went on a night out.
Jesus, did we?
I wouldn't go out if it was my only shirt, and I had to go out. I just wouldn't go out.
You'd go skins, mate.
Yeah.
You wouldn't catch us wearing a Liverpool shirt, that's for sure.
Exactly that. So, Josh, again, you had it 10th as well. I know Liverpool have used this colour scheme on their 3rd shirt this season, the sort of Five Guys McDonald's.
Yeah.
Why did it last for you?
It's just horrendous. It kind of looks like like Iron Man's cousin. Do you know what I mean? Sort of got that sort of like look about it. Don't know what those lines are meant to be all about. It's just got no reasoning, has it? I keep on harping on about sort of like how there's design and there's decoration, isn't there? And that to me just seems to be sort of decorated. No reasoning for it to be there. I don't think Warrior lasted that long, did they? I think they turned into New Balance, if I'm right. In that. And I don't think there was any Warrior shirt I liked. I mean, they came and they went quite quickly, and it was almost like it was almost like them having a go. It wasn't like they were established or anything like that. And I think this is quite evident. The Standard Chartered sponsor, I didn't mind. Thought that was okay. It's just everything else around it. I mean, I think if you were to see it on the pitch, again, it might change our minds. But seeing it, no, it doesn't. No, it really doesn't. I mean, it's disastrous, isn't it? And it follows all the way into the shorts. No, it's not good. I mean, it's really, really awful.
I tend to agree. So, Tom and Andy, you both had it 9th on your list as well. You found one shirt that you thought was worse. So, we'll start with you, Tom. Tell us why this isn't a great Liverpool shirt, other than it being Liverpool's, obviously.
Yeah, again, would agree with what's said about Warrior. Really don't think it was a great brand. Don't think they did particularly great shirts for Liverpool in that era. And similar to what's said with the lines and the finishing that they've sort of tried to do here, it doesn't make a lot of sense across the top, really. It doesn't follow any paneling. It doesn't sort of follow any seams. It doesn't seem to be a massive point to the design. And the fact that it sort of carries on into the shorts, I think, just accentuates its sorry for state. So, yeah, it's not a great one for me.
You agreeing with that, Andy?
Yeah, I agree with Josh. Don't think standard chartered's that bad. I think the logos, the crest is quite cool with the liver bird instead of the actual full on crest, and it is like a Liverpool yellow. But as soon as you get those lines on, it's like nothing else matters because that's so distracting and so utterly pointless. I can't get my head around that top line. The sidelines kind of, you've seen that kind of thing before, to add something to the body, like underneath the sponsor, but that the top one that like cuts off the shoulders, but not in like Tom said, like following the shoulder line. It's really distracting. And they had so many. I will admit they've had way better kits with New Balance, and then Nike following that. It's just a really weird. I think they're with Warrior for like 2 or 3 years, and the kits they didn't play it safe, but they were awful. Like they really were.
Yeah, not great. That looks like a sort of basketball jersey at the back with the sort of weird lines again. So, yeah, there we go. Liverpool's 2015 away shirt from the semi-final. They lost 2-1 against Aston Villa, scoring a terrible 9 points. And after you hear in the comments, I'm not surprised that it scored so low. Because you'll see the shirt in 9th to jump up in sort of score just how bad this shirt was. So there we go. Number 10 on our list, Liverpool away from 2015. Going to number 9, scoring 24 points overall is 2017 Manchester City home shirt from Nike, as you can see. 8th on my list. Just be not a fan of this template. Reminds me of that terrible England shirt they had with this Nike template. 7th for James. We will go with, we finished with him, so let's start with Andy. 6 in your list. Let us know your thoughts on the Manchester City effort.
I think if some of the other kits hadn't been so like much of a muchness, this would have scored a lot lower because I like you, I don't like this. It's the template from Euro 2016, and the where a lot of the teams it's not that the template's wrong. It's just I think the way they used the template. So you had like England away kit was the same as Portugal, but it had a blue stripe instead of a green stripe. There just wasn't enough difference. But the other thing about that template was the shorts matched the color of the top. And then it was the socks that were completely different. So yeah, I just think City would look like that kit would be infinitely improved if the socks were the same. It's just a bit of a boring design. There's not a lot much else to say, really, is there? There's nothing to it. It's just got just the sleeves. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely right. So this was the semi-final in 2017. City lost to Arsenal 2-1. Let's go with you, Josh. You had this lowest out of the 6 of us with 9th on the list. So, yeah, what you're not liking about this shirt or this kit?
Yeah, it's just a template, I think. Like Andy was saying, it's the way it was used. I mean, I've said on numerous occasions about the England shirt from that year. I absolutely detested it. It's like an off shade, isn't it, of the main colour? And I just didn't think it fit particularly nice either. I've got the France version, and it's just not a nice design for that year. I mean, City did it okay, but it's just the template I didn't like that year, and that's the reason I've sort of graded it so low. It's there's not a lot you can say about it, but it certainly wasn't, bad enough to be last. I mean, Warriors taken that crown quite gladly, but this particular one, just It's not great. It is very Nike. I mean, it is quite a solid piece if it was on its own, but it's the fact that they overused it so much. Yeah, I've never have been much better City shirts than this one. Was a fan of Etihad Airways. I think that's a nice sponsor. And when did we ever get to the bottom of when Man City changed their crest?
Back from I don't know. I'm not sure when it was. Was it not? Was it this season or the season before?
This is 2016. Maybe it was a bit more before that, wasn't it? But yeah, no, just a bit uninspiring, I think.
Yeah, that's good points raised from Josh. Tom, we'll go to you next then, and you had it 8th on your list. Again, I guess the template is going to be brought up. Was it just a terrible template overall from Nike for this kit?
Yeah, it's not really. It didn't feel like it was pushing many boundaries. There wasn't. I think is it in the season before, the season afterwards, they've at least got the sort of the sound wave pattern down the sleeve. And
yeah,
I know that again, I wasn't the massive fan of that, but that felt like there was a bit more there's a bit more gone into that than I suppose this one.
Yeah.
And again, it's the familiarity I think you see so commonly across. I think like PSG had it, England had it, and yeah, it just doesn't look great, really. Yeah, it's not. They could have been, even with the way that they've done the sleeves and that sort of like raglan style, they could have done more with the body, or they could have done more with the sleeves, and instead they've just gone for sort of 2 plain colors, and it makes it look pretty boring.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Just before we come to you, Sean, so just had a quick look, Josh. This was the first season with the new badge, 16-17. So
really,
this was the shirt. So this was the first shirt with the badge you see there. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what it would look like with the other one, but I think the damage was still done. It just feels like a filler season almost. You know, like you get those episodes on seasons which just pass for time, don't they? This just seems like it's sort of passed a season by.
Yeah. So we'll finish off with you, Sean. You had it 4th in your list, so maybe you like it a little bit more than everyone else. So tell us.
I like it more than the rest, really. When I saw the back improves it. It's almost like these shoulders are separated, and it's almost like a separate. Like I like the different blues on it. But yeah, it's like I said at the start, the top 5 were easy to do, because of the rest of the bottom 5 were just so terrible. I like the way the back and the shoulders separate from the actual body.
Is that it?
That's it.
Brilliant. We'll just get a quick night out rating as well from you.
I give that 7.5. 7.5 out of 10.
So there we go then. Manchester City's home shirt from the 2017 semi-final, which they lost to Arsenal 2-1, scoring 24 points. We now have 2 teams that come joint 7th, both scoring 25 points. The first one is, I've just done this randomly, I've not done this in any particular order. The first one is this. It's the Watford home shirt from 2016 semi-final, which they lost to Crystal Palace 2-1. Puma, it looks similar to the Manchester United shirt from not too long after. 9th on my list. Not a fan of them horrible lines. Again, reminds me of the Manchester United one, which I didn't like either. And 4th for James. It'd be interesting to find out what he liked about it. We're going to start with Tom. You had it 10th on your list, mate. Dead last for you.
Yeah.
Tell us why you're not a fan of this.
Yeah, rock bottom for the reasons that you mentioned, because it reminded me of the United shirt that had the same horrible fade, but done in that line style as opposed to an actual fade and a gradient in from one color to the other. And what I particularly disliked about that season from a United perspective is that we then played with black shorts. And for me, United, very traditionally, I prefer them in red, white, black, or red, white, and white on the European nights. So just reminding me of that. And I think I've got an affinity to that design just to detest it a little bit. And that definitely played through here On top of that, you've got a horrible betting sponsor that just completely goes against the grain of the shirt. It is in the colours of, you know, Watford's crest, to be fair, with the red and black, but it just looks at odds with the stripe design. Like, it doesn't even sit in the middle of one of them. It's sort of, it cuts through two, but like at an odd angle. If it was up by an inch or so, or drop a little bit, so at least felt like it was centered on one of the lines, that might have made it look a little bit better. But still, yeah, overall, pretty rubbish.
We'll go to you next, and Andy, because it's clear why you two obviously a duo, because you put it 10th as well. So you have a second time tonight. You've kind of been on the same wavelength. Yeah, you agree with this? It's a bit of a train wreck of a shirt.
Yeah, I think as well, we were probably too worried to put the Liverpool shirt last, but then realising that everybody else had, we'd probably done it just in case we get accused of bias. But it is that thing. It's exactly like what Tom was saying about the shorts. The lines don't actually continue onto the back though either. It's got a plain back. Yeah. I don't want to make a sweeping generalisation, but I kind of have this thing about shirts that if you need the shorts to make the shirt look good, then your shirt design probably isn't enough to like stand up on its own. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to wear black shorts or black jeans or chinos or whatever with that for that shirt to look, for you to get the whole picture of the sweep from top to bottom. The only thing one positive is, I guess, that Watford do mix it up quite a lot in terms of where they have like yellow, completely yellow, or I think they've had half and half with Adidas recently, or stripes, or like this one is sort of a play on hoops. But the sponsor, and then I just really don't like it at all. That's not a lot. I think it's awful.
Yeah. I think, you know, obviously the placing tells you that we mostly agree on that one. Josh, let's go with you. And you had it 6 in your list. Is it just a case that there was some worse, or?
Yeah, some worse. I've just sent you an image on WhatsApp. Guess where? So what, on the official Watford website, they actually did a kit cup of all their shirts. Guess where this sort of like came in terms of like imagine sort of like a round robin sort of like format. I'll just come out of it. It came. It's semi-finalist. Like, I'm looking at all their shirts. I mean, they go back to the 70s, and it's beaten all the ups. Some absolute classics. And the fans in this fan poll have rated it sort of like second best in their history. It seems that is madness. Yeah, I'm uninspired by it. I think Puma did that liney thing quite a lot that year. I think the Newcastle United home shirt had like blue lines sort of like in the bottom of the shirt. So it must have just been their thing that year. Yeah, it's all right. It's kind of like that thing, isn't it, where you've got a yellow shirt. You know, should we try something different? Yeah, let's try a gradient line effect this year. Just seems to be a bit of an experiment, doesn't it? But not a particularly nice one, especially when you've got a god awful betting sponsor like that. Although it does kind of play in with the red, the black, the white, and the yellow. You know, being their sort of like colours. But yeah, no. There have been much better Watford shirts. The year after this, it was Dry World. I love those guys. They're only here for 2 years, and then they went. And I'm really liking their Kelme efforts as of late. This one just seems to be a little bit drab.
Yep, absolutely spot on with that. It actually got to the final. It was beaten by the 18-19. It was only beaten by the 18-19 Adidas sort of. Like you said, the black and yellow stripes, which you alluded to, Andy. So yeah, that's crazy that it got so far, and some of the shirts that it actually beat. Yeah. So we'll finish off with you, Sean. Opposite end of the scale for you. You put this second.
I adore this one.
Oh, sorry, you put it. Yeah, no, you put it second on your list.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice kit. I like different graduations of the black going right to the bottom. And the fact that it's the nickname's the Hornets. It's like the Hornet's tail. The symmetry of it. You've got the crest and the sponsored kit supplier right where you want them. I like the sponsor as well. It looks quite. I know it's a betting company, but it looks almost like it should be there. I think. I love the trim down the shoulders. I'd wear it, and it's a rightful finalist.
No one's agreeing.
It's better than any of the other attempts they've had. I think. Like
Yeah.
the plain yellow, and they had really bad kits in the early 2000s, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but did they have the Adora early 2000s? I think they had. But this I can't agree with you on this. I think it's a terrible shirt. Rightly low end of the table. Go on then, Sean. We'll finish off with a night out rating from you, if you would.
8 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
You could wear it with any coloured pants as well.
Yeah.
Good, ja. Green
Maybe
lime
not
green
maybe-
pants you could wear it with.
Maybe not red chinos. Actually, red chinos would be all right.
Yeah, it would actually. That would go right well.
Swiftly moving on
Hogan
then. So joint one of the joint 7th shirts from our list. The Watford home shirt from 2016, losing in the semi-final to Crystal Palace, who obviously went on to lose to Manchester United in the final. So there we go. The second team joint 7th, again with 25 points. Sheffield United with their 2014 home shirt, obviously by Macron, and they lost in the semi-final to Hull City. 5-3 overall in that semi-final. It was a 7th place from me, 8th from James. Let's kick off with you, Josh, because you had this second in your list. So yeah, tell us why you're a fan of the Sheffield United shirt.
Yeah, I do like this one actually. I like the different sort of paneling on it. I quite like the fact that it's a solid red at the top and at the sides. Recently, Sheffield United shirts have been very much of a muchness, and I don't think they've really done much with the actual sort of. They've not been very dangerous and sort of daring. And Macron around this time, we're doing a few things like this. And with regards to the Sheffield United shirt, I quite like this. It's thrown me off that the Macron and the badge aren't aligned. Then again, I guess you couldn't have with regards to... No, you could. I think you could have done, actually. So that's the only sort of negative for me. The sponsor, it isn't too bad, actually. It fits in with the colourway. I'm quite partial to a collar. And I just kind of like balance of it all, really. I mean, there's no sort of features on there that look like they shouldn't be there. Nothing looks slapped on. Kind of looks like there's been some time spent on this, and it's quite evident to see. I don't suppose you've got a photograph, have you, of it being used in a match at all, do you, Aaron?
Yeah, I do, Josh. You're right. Yeah. So actually in the semi-final, yeah. The sponsor was different though.
Yeah.
Which
was odd.
What is that sponsor?
My good gracious me. Embers. Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Southampton with the Under Armour when they had that paneling at the top that was just completely cut off. But yeah, oh my goodness, that is god awful, isn't it? But no, previous sponsor worked quite well with it, and I thought it was quite a strong piece, to be honest with you, which is why I ranked it quite high, because I'm basing it on other Sheffield United shirts of late.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United have sadly been stuck in sort of template land with Adidas, haven't they, and just given anything and nothing too daring, like you said. The reason obviously that I've gone for all pictures from the semi-finals, so that's why it's that, and obviously the sponsor there absolutely ruins it.
I mean, there's got to be a rule about that, surely, or is it just it's massive?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost close up to the badge if you look.
Yeah,
real close. It's
by the looks of it, it looks like it was a mid-season sponsorship. Just doing a quick Google, which probably explains the size of the sponsor, because it's probably patched over as opposed to
over, isn't it?
worked in, which we've seen on numerous occasions, and we've seen this season with Blackburn, for example.
Yeah.
So I can't tell whether that's because the sports company, I think, is a gaming company.
Yeah.
So again, linked to gambling, probably went bust. I don't know. That typically tends to be why the change, or whether this, I think it's a Saudi Arabian tech company came in and have just offered a shed load of money because they were in the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they edged them out or just replaced them.
Yeah, at least it's not the numbers plastered on the front like West Ham had to do that time a few years back. We'll come to you then, Tom. You had it 7th overall in your list, so yeah, you were bob on with this one, mate. Give us your overall thoughts on the shirt, though.
Yeah, a little bit of ranker's regret. Can you say that? I think that I might have probably popped it a little bit higher than a couple of others I've got, having sort of seen it, spent a little bit of time on it now, looking at it. Because for me, it's classic Sheffield United. It's red and white stripes. It's nice and evenly balanced. I like the collar, like Josh says as well on it, but it's the black accents that also make it instantly recognisable for Sheffield United. The reason why it got marked down so much for me was because of that huge sponsor that just didn't look right and could have been done better. And actually, if I did my research a little bit more around M-Buzz beforehand, I would have realised that it was probably done because of a late deal, hence why it was there. But, you know, the sports games sponsor fits and works a lot better. But, of course, that one wasn't used in the semi-final. It was the M-Buzz one. And so I think that's why I've given it such harsh marks, because I think the one we've got on screen now is actually quite a decent design, and probably would have featured a bit higher up.
Yeah, some good points. Over to you then, Andy. You had it one place lower. What are your overriding thoughts on the Blades home shirt from this season?
Not a lot, other than it kind of, it's weird because it's kind of a bit baggy for Macron, whereas I used to seeing online people going, "What? Should I size up?" And Macron's normally a bit notorious for like, "Yeah, you need to go 2 sizes up." So maybe this is like the last of those sort of baggy. I do like a collar on a shirt, but it's one of those that maybe feels a bit sort of open and flappy rather than it's got some nice like texture to it to keep it a bit more smarter looking. There's not a lot about it. It's not like it's not awful, but I just didn't think it was very good either. I find the reds a bit jarring across the top, but it looks good on pitch, as most shirts do. So it's just one of those. I've no strong feelings on it.
And finishing off with you then, Sean. Night out rating for you?
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Because it's
with
red.
the new sponsor, 2 out of 10. I think with the semi-final sponsor.
Oh yeah,
That's fair.
I tend to agree. That's fair. Okay, so coming again, joint 7th, 25 points is the 2014 Sheffield United home shirt, which they lost in the semi-final to Hull, 5-3 overall. We'll move on then. Number 6 with 30 points. I think is a nice, really classy kit, is the Wolves away shirt from 2019. The only thing going against it is obviously a betting sponsor, which a lot of fans and myself don't agree with. 3rd on my list, 10th, so dead last for James. He did put a little comment when he sent the shirts over the saying it's a bit plain, a bit boring. They could be a little bit more daring with it. We will start with you, Andy. Let's do that, shall we? You had it 5th, so middle of the road for you. Tell us what you think of this Wolves shirt.
It is one of those that is plain, but then again, because it's plain, it looks quite smart and, you know, sort of some beauty and simplicity sometimes. It was their first season with Adidas. I think is when they came up. And I've looked at the home shirt as well, and the home shirt's like pretty similar, but just in their gold colour. It's really clean, but I don't know. I kind of like if it had a cuff maybe, or if it just had something else to it. They kind of suffer from, and I guess this is what the benefit of them going to someone like Castore is now, is that they kind of suffer from not being one of those top tier Adidas teams where there's nothing bespoke about it, if that makes sense. So it's a really nice kit, but it could be anybody's kit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I think they came up this season where I think they had 2 seasons running where the third shirt was like a Mexico shirt, and the season after was like
I
a
think
Portugal.
that was season 2 and season 3. So this is I don't know whether they had it the year before, but yeah, they did those nice shirts to fit the nations of the players they had. But this is
that's it.
This is like the first attempt where they're like, oh, we don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
So just give you something plain.
So moving on, we'll call you Tom. You had it one place lower in 6. Yeah, tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, we're right in the depths of the territory in the middle bank of shirts, I think, that I've ranked from between 4 and 7, which includes the Sheffield United shirt we just covered, that for me were quite interchangeable, were really difficult to sort of place up and down for a variety of reasons. But it's this one is a Adidas template shirt off the shelf, but it's an inoffensive one, so I quite like it. The design's minimal, but the minimalism works in this case for me. I think it makes the crest jump off the front of the shirt. I think that looks quite nice. The W88 sponsor is not the best. It's not the worst, but again, it's a gambling sponsor, so it doesn't go down in my book. But I like the fact that it's done in the same gradients of the shirt, so it fits well in with the design. It's forgettable, I think, really. And I think most of these ones in this middle bit are. But yeah, it's all right. It's a good middle of the road shirt, really. Not good, not bad.
Do you tend to agree with that, Sean? You had that 7th in your list.
Yeah, it's because I'm comparing it to other wool shirts. I think that's clouded my judgment a bit as well. It's smart as a football shirt, but it is quite boring. It's nothing to it.
And a night out rating?
4.
You don't like white, do you? So I thought
No,
that's quite high.
you spill too many cocktails down it, and you can't get the stain out.
It might add to the design here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paint splatter on a white canvas. You never know. Josh, we'll finish off with you then. You had it also 5th in your list. Tell us why.
It's just extremely boring, isn't it? It's you get it off a teamwear website and just slap a badge on it and a sponsor. W88 must have had something going on in the Midlands because they were the Aston Villa sponsor as well, weren't they? It's all right. It's not bad. It's just very forgettable. It's very plain. You'd have thought that they would have sort of, done more with this shirt, considering was it their first season back in the Prem? I think it was, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have thought they'd done something, but I would have assumed that they'd have probably already signed this off already, thinking they were going to be in a championship or something like that, and maybe we're just stuck with it. I don't think any sort of Wolves fans can remember it too well, and I think Castor are doing probably a better job at the moment. And I loved the Puma stuff as well before all of this. But yeah, no, Adidas just came in, didn't they? Just very forgettable.
Yeah, I think Leeds are suffering the same. Coming up with an Adidas deal and just not really having anything too special in terms of shirts.
I think he's just been done for global marketability, Aaron, to be fair, because I think Kappa just fits so well. I went to Leeds once and there was Kappa absolutely everywhere in the city centre. And then I think what they must have done is just put their heads together and thought, actually, Leeds are going to become more of a superpower again. Can we get Kappa out there everywhere? It's probably why we went with Adidas, mate, to be fair, which is a bit of a shame because, Italian owners, things like that. I thought it would probably stick for a while, but obviously not.
No. So, yeah, there we go. The Wolves shirt from 2019. They lost Watford 3-2 in their semi-final. Scoring 30 points, coming 6th in the list. So we'll move on to number 5 with 33 points. It's the 2018 Spurs shirts. which they wore in the semi-final, which they lost to Manchester United. I was actually at that game. I watched that game at Wembley. So it got a score of 4th in the list for me. I quite like this shirt, even though it's quite simple. I think we spoke about the red and white on Spurs shirts and looking quite nice before in the past. James had it 6th in the list. Let's start with, we'll go back to you, Sean. We'll start with you. 8th on your list. Yeah, tell us why.
It's just too plain. It is far too plain. I like the crest. I like the shield around the crest, and that's it. The colour of the sponsor lets it down a lot. I think, and there's better kits out there on the list you gave us. So, I like the 2 stripes around the collar as well. That's it.
Night out rating?
2.
2. Okay. Josh, again, you had it 8th as well. You echoing a lot of what Sean's saying there?
Yeah, I mean, it's Spurs with Nike have just been very plain, haven't they? I mean, there's something, Bo, that just screams like a little scream, a bit classy. There's a bit of class about this, like a little bit. Like, I think the fact it is so plain, it does look a little bit tailored, a little bit upmarket, I think. I do like the simplicity of it. The AIA, I think, gives it a nice little sort of jump with the red. I think a few people have done mock-ups where it's the same blue, but no, I quite like it in red. I think that it's simple. I mean, I'm sure there's little nuances of like detail somewhere. I'm sure there's something in the neckline or on the back or something like that. But no, it's nice, but there's been a lot like this. Like, for instance, this season's shirt is very plain. The one before, I think, with the yellow accents and whatnot, that was more daring. But I think Spurs do well to just be plain. I think if you ask me, there just on the collar there is a little bit of a detail there, but apart from that, it is just very uninspiring. But it borders on uninspiring and classy. Hard to say, really.
Yeah, it's sort of your typical Spurs. I think it literally just says Spurs at the top of the sort of collar there. But like you say, uninspiring, a bit like Spurs themselves. Tom, 5th in your list. Let us your thoughts on this Spurs shirt.
Yeah, I think Spurs are very classically a side that doesn't really deviate too far with their. For I guess from their history with sort of plain white shirts, you won't see too much get played with that, and I think it's probably as far as it sort of goes, with a bit of trim down the right that under the arms and a little bit of work on the collar with the double line. I like the shield as well that Sean had mentioned, and I'm also in agreement with Josh. I like the red on the sponsor. I think it works quite well. So for me, it just says classic Spurs, and I think that's a good thing. Again, I think with a lot of Spurs shirts in this era, that it'll be like the late 10s, but you probably struggle to pinpoint what specific season it is unless you're a Spurs fan. You'll look at it and you'll go, oh, I reckon that's between 2015 and 2020, something like that. But you won't be able to pin down what season it is because they're much of a muchness, are quite similar in that sense. But it's classic Spurs. It's inoffensive. It looks nice. It works well as a football shirt. Middle of the road. It's all right.
Was you going to say something, Josh?
No, I was just picking up on what Tom said there about it being sort of like uninspiring, like Spurs not knowing really what season it was from. And I've just had a look to figure out what season it was, and it was their first season with Nike. And I thought that might sort of like go off with a bit more of a bang. But yeah, they're seeming to sort of say that it was based on 1950s inspired, because I think the badge was slightly different as well. There was a shield around the badge this year, so I think that was one of the design new sort of like additions. But yeah, apart from that, that's all I wanted to say. I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
go
thing
for it.
is with white shirts that are inspired by white shirts is that you're just going to get white shirts.
A white shirt.
And because there isn't much other else design there, I think. But it's classic. It's fine. It works well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think you say it's the first season when I think I remember they released a video, didn't they, with the players wearing it, like to a grime track or something like that. Really like a sort of midlife crisis dad vibes, wearing Air Force Ones kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it just didn't sit well, and got, I think, rightly mocked on Twitter. We'll finish off then with you, Andy, because you had this second in your list. So you're a fan of this one.
Not necessarily. I just thought, I don't know. I really did go round and round and round with these ratings. Trust me. I just thought it was quite smart, and like Josh said, it was that first year with Nike, so I think they were maybe playing it safe. Those kind of after that Euro 2016 template where the sleeves were different colors, then Nike have gone to plain sleeves and like the stripes or the other accents around the back of the collars. Nothing really to it. But it does. Obviously, it feels to me like a classic Spurs shirt. But the then downside to that is like everyone said, is then you don't know, because I can't pin this to any sort of memorable games because I don't watch them often enough. It doesn't mean anything to me. So I've ranked it as a smart shirt. I really like the shield around the crest as well. I think that's smart. And I'm going to disagree with everyone else. I think that the Spurs fans don't actually like the AIA being in red on their home kit, because they don't like the red on there because there's some sort of like Arsenal link. And if you look at I've looked at all of their other away kits and third kits, and the AIA changes to match whatever else they need to go on for that kit. I know they pay the money to have their brand on there, and that is their main color. But I think that I don't know. It seems like an easy criticism to make every time their home kits come out. It's always like, oh, I wish that was in every year. But yeah, and Spurs are on this plain 1 year, slightly crazy the next as well. They've fallen into that thing, whereas like the last season was those like seatbelt things, and then next season's got the like bit of flashes of high vis yellow, and they are on that trend, I guess. But yeah, I just thought it was smart.
Yeah, so there we go. In fifth place on our list, we have a total of 33 points. Is the Spurs home shirt from 2018, losing in the semi-final to Manchester United. Goals from Alexis Sanchez and Ander Herrera, and obviously United lost in the final to Chelsea that year. Happy I sold my ticket, I have to say, for that final. Thank you, Phil Jones. So we'll move on we got joint third, so two teams, two shirts finishing third with both 45 points. So there's a big jump up in these next four shirts that we're going to see. So the first one, again, just done at random, not in any particular order, is the Chelsea 2013 third shirt. And they lost in their semi-final to Manchester City 2-1. So like I say, it got 45 points overall. Fifth in the list from me. James had it first in his list. We will start with Josh on this one. Fourth for you. What are you thinking of this shirt from the Stamford Bridge Club?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. It does what everything a third shirt should do, shouldn't it? It's a bit experimental. Is it meant to sort of like signify almost like a six-pack?
I was thinking that it's like the ribs. I think it's like the Chelsea shirt we spoke about from 2010 with Dan, and it kind of had that sort of weird pattern that looks like ribs. It just, it looks similar to that for me.
Yeah, it looks nice. Looks sharp, doesn't it? I like the neon. I like the neon yellow. Yeah, I think it does quite well. It's got like a futuristic look about it, hasn't it? I don't think there's anything it references from history or, necessarily their past or a part of London or anything like that. It's just a really cool shirt, I guess. Looks like it's sort of stood the test of time almost, like I think that could be brought out now and be still sort of relevant. I like the fact that all the Adidas, Samsung and the Chelsea's are all in that sort of off-white, almost grey silver. I think that's quite a nice little touch. Almost has a little bit of a goalkeeper vibe about it. You could probably see that as a keeper kit. But again, you could say probably the same for quite a few third shirts. But no, I think it's I think out of the lot you gave us, Aaron, this was quite strong, to be honest with you. It's got a bit of a Columbus Crew vibe about it as well, with that colourway. And I like Columbus Crew. Just thought I'd say that.
Shout out to all the Columbus Crew fans watching. Josh is a big fan. Andy, we'll go to you then next. You had this 7th in your list.
Yeah, I didn't like it because I think I was just about to say it looked like a goalie shirt. So I can imagine. I feel like I've got an image in my head of Peter Cech wearing this, and I can't.
Yeah.
Even though you've shown us a photo of it being used in an FA Cup semi-final, it just feels like a goalie shirt. I don't know, some sort of strange sort of armor / superhero. Like I don't know. So, and I looked as well. Chelsea were with Adidas for like 11, 12 seasons, and they had 8 black away or third kits. And some of them I really like and find quite memorable, and others kind of all blend into. I think they must just get lost where they don't get. I can't imagine they get worn a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at Petr Cech's shirt there, Tom, and he's wearing all white, mate. So it's almost got like a Tottenham vibe about it. It doesn't make any sense, man.
But yeah, I quite like do quite like some of Chelsea's black shirts I think they've got a black and orange one. There's black and white ones and black and blue, but there's a grey and black hooped one with some fluorescent yellow on. I just don't like this one.
No, I can see.
It looks good on Mata there. It does look good on pros, especially. Yeah, he looks right. He's got yellow boots on. He's perfectly
matched. Nice, isn't
it? Yeah, nice. Perfect.
Absolutely. Tom, we'll go to you next. You had this 3rd in your list. So yeah, how come it was Chelsea's 3rd in 3rd?
Yeah. So out of the kits that you gave us that came from the losing semi-finalist, this is probably one that stood out that actually had some original design elements to it. So I think a lot of the other ones that we've seen sort of lacked that. This one had that. The pattern on the front kind of reminded me of Transformers, the Transformer logo a little bit, and I kind of like that. And I like Transformers. So that was enough for me to sort of push it up a bit higher. But yeah, this one's definitely pushed the design boundaries a bit more. I definitely agree with the goalkeeper comments. I hadn't really considered it at the time, but now you guys have said it, I'm like, yeah, it definitely does have that goalkeeper vibe to it. But yeah, for me, I think design-wise, definitely a lot different to some of the other stuff we've seen. I quite liked it.
Yeah, look at Juan Mata there. Absolutely happy just before he's moved to Manchester United and having his career ruined. Poor lad. Best number 10 in the Premier League, shunting on the right hand side. Yeah, brilliant. I'll stop being bitter and twisted. Okay, we'll finish off with Sean. You had number 1 on your list, mate. So yeah, why is this the best shirt in the list for you?
Yeah, the kit just made me smile. I think it is very original. It almost looks, if you go to the first picture, it looks a little bit like, I don't know, I was getting Venom vibes, Spider-Man franchise. And almost like it put the fear of a team you were playing against in, almost like a New Zealand hacker. If you were stood in front of the Chelsea players like that, you'd be like, it starts off with the mind games, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's looking beautiful as well. Like Josh said, the neon look. Yeah, well, yeah, but the neon look looks beautiful. Very late 90s, I think.
Yeah.
I'll let you go to Laser Quest. A 10. I'll give it a 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Well, there you go. We'll finish off on that. That's the joint third, 45 points. Chelsea third shirt from 2013. They lost in the semi-final to Manchester City that year. So, yeah, the second team in joint third with 45 points as well is this, the Southampton third shirt from 2021. Let's start with, I'll just go through where we placed them. So 6 for me in my list. It's the sponsor that kills it. If you didn't have that, it'd be a lot higher. Third for James. Let's start with Josh, shall we? He had it 7th. Tell us your thoughts on the Southampton shirt.
Yeah, I kind of like Under Armour, actually. I think a lot of my reasoning was behind that. I think they've got like some nice ideas. They seem to be very secretive with their football shirt creations as well. So when they come out with stuff, you've not really seen it before. This particular one, I think it's got something to do with, is it like an anniversary-esque shirt with the, I don't know. I think there's been one, hasn't there, recently? It might have been with Umbro or something like that, where they had the red band. Kind of reminds me of that. I think that'll resonate a lot with the fans. Just that god awful sponsor, man, isn't it? I mean, it's absolutely wicked, horrible, terrible, bad. I think it was a late deal. I remember doing a little bit of research on it because I was just wondering what was all that about. I'm guessing someone's just slapped a lot of money on there for it because, I mean, no one in their right mind's gonna know who that is. I mean, I think it is a financial or a betting company. But yeah, I mean, that without that sponsor on, by the way, would be glorious. But no, I rated it that high. I kind of rated it almost without the sponsor in my mind, and based it on that. I know I shouldn't have done, but we can break the rules, and that's why or can we? I don't know. It's not my show.
Of course we can. Of course we can. It is your show. Of course it is.
It's not my bloody show, man.
All of our show. It's the community show.
It belongs to us. That's kind of it, really. I'm basing it on that.
Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. So, Sean, we'll go to you next. Third for you, Southampton being your second team, I believe. Tell us your thoughts on this third shirt from Under Armour and the Saints.
Well, again, I blocked out the sponsor in mind. I've had the kit. I've had the Umbro kit where they didn't have the sponsor on there, and I think it was one of my favourite shirts I've ever done. The Peruvian sash down the middle, down the diagonal line. What was it? Is it harks back to the 70s? Didn't have a home kit in the 70s like that. And again, I like Josh said, I was looking at it without the sponsor, trying my best to, and I was rating it accordingly. Original crest as well, and I like Under Armour's kits. I would definitely wear it on a night out and a day out as well.
So what would the rating be overall?
9, easy 9.
Cool. So we'll finish off with the two shirt union guys. Again, matching up on your rankings, both putting it first, top of the pile. We'll go alphabetically then, shall we? Let's start with Andy. So why is this the number one shirt from the 10 provided?
At the shirt union, we both like a sash, we wear football shirts like hen do's. That's how we roll. The spot. This is the one where the sponsor changed actually. So if you look at the photo in the match, that this is. I don't know if anyone remembers. This was only last year. That they sold all the shirts off at the start of the season because the sponsor went in like August. So
that's right. Yeah,
but that sponsor's not much better, but is a slight improvement, and that's what I based it. I just think it's a really smart shirt. The home shirt was the reverse of that, so it was red with a white sash as well. And I just think Southampton have had really nice shirts, but I think that sash is it is really nice. And then the collar and the cuffs as well. I think the whole thing. If the sponsor was gone off that completely, or it was another better looking sponsor or one that wasn't a betting company, that would be
agreed.
I just think it's a really, really, really nice kit.
Yeah.
And Tom,
sorry, yeah, there's something quite iconic, isn't there? I think as well about the red sash on a white shirt as well, given the prominence of River Plate too. So it sort of really fits the bill really well in terms of a football shirt design. I like some of the smaller touches on it. I think if you go to the back of the shirt, I think it's got the 135 years or something, or 125 years at the bottom with a little sash. So I like the little details like that. I quite like the thicker cuffs on the sleeve. I like the way that the Under Armour kits fit as well. The collar's quite nice on that one. That is a hideous sponsor on that one. I do like how the gold matches the gold of the manufacturer, which I know they didn't continue across for the sports bet sponsor. But for me, I think shirt design-wise, it's the strongest by a long stretch of the 10. I think it's a really nice, well put together shirt.
Cool. So there we go. The Southampton third shirt from 2021. They lost to the eventual winners, Leicester City, 1-0 in their semi-final. So scoring 45 points, joint third with the Chelsea third is Southampton. Okay, so let's move on. We're down to the final two. Only getting there by one single point, and I think that's probably down to me. So I apologize, guys, because I put it first on the list. It is, let's get it up. Sorry, it is the 2020 home shirt from Manchester United. I think I've only put it first because of the badge, the crest. Nothing to do with Chevrolet because I can't stand it. Happy it's gone. It's literally because of that badge and how nice it is. James put it fifth in his list. We will go with Sean. You had it sixth in your list overall, mate. So yeah, tell us why you did or didn't like this United home shirt.
The sponsor. I hate the sponsor. And also the black behind the crest and the Adidas doesn't scream United. You know, on the and I think I'm quite biased as well because I'm not really a fan of United.
Lies. You used to support
you
United.
lose.
Won't go there.
It loses 2 points for that.
Okay. Night out rating?
5, 4, 4.
4. Okay. We'll go with Andy next. You had this third overall. Not an amazing United shirt, but tell us why it scored third.
It's hard judging your own team because all the other teams have been able to go, right, okay, just take this shirt in isolation. Whereas I always think that your own team, you got so many game memories, or like you compare the season's shirt to what's come before it. So the one before it, I think, was the black the black bottom one where the gradient goes into it, and everyone hated that one. So it was already an kind of like instant win. The treble nods are, although maybe marketing, whatever, I do really like you said, that the gold on that, and especially on the authentic version, the gold really shines on the badge. Bit like Sean though, I don't really like the black Adidas badge, but you have to have that because you need it behind the gold. It does look smart on pitch. It looks really clean because the stripes are red. It's smart, but yeah, I absolutely hate the Chevrolet logo and all those shirts that they've ruined because the font's quite nice. I would say the font's quite nice. That font on its own with like the horrible logo, but it's done. It's gone. Move on. Let go.
Yeah, you talk about the treble nods, but on this shirt, it's actually a year late because it should have been the 2018-2019 shirt, not the 2019-2020, as we know. But nice nods nonetheless. Obviously, this is the season United lost in the semi-final to Chelsea, getting hammering 3-1. Josh, we'll come to you because you also had this is third on your list. So yeah, give us your reasons for that.
Yeah, a lot of the points have already been mentioned by the shirt union. I liked the font on there, by the way. That was lovely. No, I just think it's a Chevrolet shirt, sponsored by Man United. That's what it looks like. You know, you're seeing if you literally you just look at that Chevrolet. There's everything else is just playing second fiddle. Is that the phrase, second fiddle? I don't even know if that's the right context of that phrase, but it just looks like everything else there is in the background and Chevrolet's on the foreground, which is terrible. And like Andy was saying about the font, Chevrolet is a beautiful font. I mean, they could have just customized it. I don't know, maybe just it would look then too wide, but maybe just have the Chevrolet plus at the end after the T or something. Just do something that makes it look less obvious. But no, I like the black accents. I think the badge as well is a huge selling point. And again, I just think that sponsor has ruined a really good shirt for you, to be honest with you. And again, I guess I was looking at this slightly without the Chevrolet there. And I think that would have been a really classy shirt for you.
Yeah. Speaking of Chevrolet, I don't think since United had Chevrolet as a sponsor, I don't think I've seen so many edits of a football kits. Every kit was getting edited with the Chevrolet text would have worked perfectly well. I think that would have looked it would have a lot similar to sort of TeamViewer, I think, if they'd just gone with that. No one United fan that I knew liked the Chevrolet on there. We will finish off with Tom then, second in your list. Tell us why, Tom. Let us know.
Yeah, the Chevrolet argument's great. I totally agree with all of that. I think I've probably become a bit Chevrolet blind over the time, so I now sort of can see past it and look at the shirt, probably because I've seen so many shirts and images with that damn horrible cross on the front of it. I love the crest. I think it's done really nicely. I think you have to have the black Adidas in order to add the balance to the shirt and the little black touches on the collar. I do prefer United with white accents. I think it looks smarter as a whole, but if you're going to go with the black badge with the gold. But for me, this shirt is all about the name set. I love the name sets that we had this year. They're varsity style. They're nice and blocky. They scream sports. I like the drop shadow on it, and then with the gold sort of key line around the outside. I just really, really like it. I think it's one of the best fonts that we've had by a long shot. And that style continued across the away in the third as well. I think it was this year we had the black rose away kit, and it had the bright red or bright orange font as well, that in this style that popped off the back of it. For me, that's one of the reasons why I ranked it so highly, because of the cut name set that would have been worn. I think it makes it really strong.
Yeah, I fully agree with what you're saying there, Tom. So, yeah, Manchester United's home shirt from 2020, losing to Chelsea in the semi-final 3-1. That year of 46 points. So that leads us, we all know which one it is. It got a total of 48 points overall out of a possible 60. So not a bad score at all, really. And it is 2012. So it's the earliest shirt from the 10 provided. And it's this from Everton. They lost in a Merseyside derby semi-final 2-1 to Liverpool in 2012. James and I both had this second. I'm going to have some rankers regret. Should have been first for me. Should have put it over Manchester United. It is a good shirt. James, like I say, second as well. We'll go with Sean. You had it lowest out of the six of us in fifth. So still in your sort of top five. So, yeah, give us your thoughts on this shirt for the Toffees.
Do you know what it is? I don't like the sponsor. And also, the collar looks too baggy. I know I love the 90s. I love 80s football kits, but the collar is it looks too archaic to me. You won't want to wear it on a wet day. That's what I'm judging it on. And the Coq Sportif logo, I'm not a fan of the Coq Sportif kits.
Okay. Night out rating? We'll get that from you.
It'd work well on a night out, I think, that. Provided it wasn't raining. Maybe 7 or 8.
Okay, 7 or 8, not bad. So in the middle, 7.5. Shall we just go?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right, brilliant. I think the fourth time tonight, guys, Andy and Tom have ranked it the same on their list. Both had it down as fourth. I think I'm not going to say there's been some conferring going on. I won't ever suggest that. But we'll start with you then, Tom. So yeah, fourth overall. Tell us why.
I just copied Andy's homework. Running late for what can I do? Do you know what? It falls into that category for me, along with like Wolves and Spurs, etc. That it's a fairly inoffensive shirt. It's classic Everton. I like the little yellow touches inside the collar that marry up with the very thin cuff, and then the yellow that's sort of on the crest too. All of those little touches, those little accents that come together that I think make a shirt like that. I actually quite like the final of the collar. I think that I'm not ever tried one of these shirts. I don't think I've ever seen one of these shirts to hand, but I think the fit of it looks good. And I think seeing it on the players as well, I think it looks like it works well, whether it's even buttoned up or slightly open. I think that the little yellow detail comes through a little bit. So, yeah, it's fairly inoffensive, reasonably decent shirt. I was actually there for that game. Happened to have a ticket and got to watch it. And I think Everton took the lead in that game, and I was hoping that they would hang on and beat and knock out Liverpool with the players that they had at the time, but unfortunately couldn't hang on. And then it probably would have been even more memorable.
Yeah, most definitely. So Andy, yeah, fourth for you as well. Give us your thoughts for this shirt.
Yeah, pretty. Like Tom's just said, it does fall into that. These are the ones I was struggling with. The kind of Spurs, Everton, United. Who's going to come into that second place? I think it's really smart. The amber colouring on it looks good, and I think they had that as their away kit colour. So there's some like continuation across all three kits that year. I think it was their last year with Lecoq Sportif as well, before they went to Nike. Don't know what that's got to do with it, but it's just it feels as well a bit like it could fall into like the tailored by Umbro range. It's like, England 2010 World Cup, and you said this was what, 2012, so it feels like maybe they've gone, oh, that's quite nice in that plain color. This is what we're going to do with it. It's really smart. It looks great on pitch.
Yeah, no, it does. I was just going back to what Tom said, that yellow accent on the sleeve. I think if that had been a little bit bigger, I think it adds a little more element there. I think if that would have been nice. So we'll finish off with you, Josh, because you had it top of the pile for you, ranking it number 1. So tell us why you think the Goodison Park club deserve to be rightly, well, has it turned out, number 1 in this list?
Yeah, I think it's a really good football shirt. Like, they are to me, like, Goodison Park. I know they're moving away from there soon, but they seem to be a very sort of oldie club, like really, vintage football. And this shirt sort of represents them, I think, in the sense that there's no real frills about it. Yeah, it is still quite solid in its finish. I like the sponsor, and like Tom was saying and Andy was saying, regarding the variation, the continuation of the sponsoring shirts. I'm just looking at them here as like a quadruple. Tim Howard was wearing the camo away shirt. I think he scored from his own half in that shirt. The Chang itself, I think, is a beautiful sponsor. I think that it's a beer brand, isn't it, Chang? I think that complements it really well. I love a collar. I like how the yellow is on the inside of it. If it was blue, it probably wouldn't stand out as much. Lecoq Sportif, you don't see a lot of them around at the moment. Obviously, they brought out that Atletico Mineiro shirt, which everyone bought 6 times over. So they are still quite sort of well thought of and still throw up now and again. But I think out of the 3 shirts that Lecoq brought out as well with this, with Everton, this was probably the best. Just like you said, when you showed us that photograph with the derby there, mate, it just looked really, really nice. And I bet it's the sort of thing that out of all the shirts that people go for when they go to Goodison, it's probably one of the ones they pick out if they do have it. So, yeah, no, strong shirt. And I just think it just celebrates everything that's good about English football. It's a really sort of hearty shirt.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, Josh. And number 1 on our list, the winner of the losers is Everton and their 2012 home shirt with a total of 48 out of 60. So, yeah, good score from Everton, and rightly so, the winner of our list. So there we go. That is it. We are at the end of the show and our list. I will just obviously do my due diligence and show you the scores so everyone knows I'm not cheating. There's the list and everyone scores. How I like to spend my Wednesday afternoon putting all these in.
Fair play
especially after chasing everyone up on a Wednesday morning for their rankings. Not blaming anyone, guys. Not blaming anyone. But so there we go. So yeah, thanks for watching, and obviously thank you guys for coming on the show and spend some time with us talking about kits. Andy and Tom. Tom, thanks for coming back. Andy, thanks for making your first appearance. Hopefully it's not the last we see of you. So yeah, where can people find you, and tell us about Shirt Union and how great you guys are, please?
Yeah, you can find us over on Twitter. You can find us at the Shirt Union. You can see it already in our handles at the bottom. I can't get it right there. Perfect. Yeah, and you can find us talking about all sorts of stuff: shirt launches, kit grids, our own opinions on shirts, what we like or not, and also little bits of our collection, mainly United and T90s from me, and Andy is United and Holland. And England as well. I got quite a few England shirts too. I'm envious of.
James would be all over that. Maybe Sean as well, the old England. Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Again, hopefully we'll see you on here very, very soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always. Josh, the main man, the daddy of the kit community. Thank you again for spending time with your children on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, cheers, mate. That's really, really, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Mate, I just you're making every. I mean, these people are laughing, Dad, but they actually hate. They despise me. Because of everything you're saying. I appreciate it, mate. Always fun. I really do like talking kit. So many different opinions on things, and I think that's what's the beauty about this subculture of ours, is that one person's shirt that they find beautiful is another person's disaster piece, isn't it? So my friend at work next to me, he says, "Why do you like football shirts so much, Josh?" And I was educating him and sort of on why I like them. And a lot of people don't see the beauty in it, and then they take a little bit of time to think about it. And now I'm getting questions all the time about them, and I think that's it. There is a lot to talk about, and we talk a lot about it on Wednesday nights.
Yeah. Quick story. I had my niece round on Sunday to meet the baby for the first time, and I was wearing a Brazil 98 shirt, and she just looked at me and went, "Have you been playing football?" I was like, "No, I collect them." And I went and then just threw like 20 shirts at her, and she was just looking at me like, why don't you buy dolls like me? Well, that's what you should do. So but no, yeah, it's a great habit. It's a great hobby to have, I think. Won't change it for the world, although Hannah would say very different. So yeah, as always, Josh, we'll see you next week. I'm looking forward to the subject. You've raised one. I'm looking forward to doing that next week. It should be fun. Sean, last but not least, anything you wanna say, mate, before we head off?
I said last week I was going to get on Twitter by Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
that was today.
So
Definitely be on there. Definitely be on there next Wednesday. By next Wednesday.
I'm going to chase you every day now. I'm going to text you every day to hound you to get on Twitter. Then, please. The people are ready.
I can't find a decent handle or picture. That's what's slowing me down.
GK Sean. You got one there.
I think
true.
I actually searched it for you. I don't think there's anyone with GK Sean, so I'd give it a go if I was you.
Then I've got no excuses. Then
There's not at all. No, people are
I'll
tweeting about it without even being on there.
I'll show everyone my charity finds as well. That'll be good content, won't it?
Your fake Italy shirts and stuff. Yeah, people will love to see that, mate. Yeah, 100%.
There's a market out there. Don't worry.
With what was it, Mararazzi or something? Yeah, okay.
Mararazzi with an off-centered Z.
Yeah, that's it.
It was £2 and it helped age concern. So
I can't say anything then, can I? Obviously,
sue me
for
helping age concern.
Go against the age. Okay, so that's it from us. We are out of here. Do look out for the channel. We have got a video dropping in a couple of days' time, a little something different from the TK boys, a little shorter as well, so we won't be taking too much of your time, but be as entertaining as always, I'm sure. So yeah, like I say, if it is your first time talking kit, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, and yeah, let us build this community even more. So we will see you very, very soon next week for another full kit rankers and this new video dropping very soon. So yeah, make sure that you keep talking kit.